Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna pick my July TBR using my TBR jar. Last month in June I was getting out of a reading slump and then had kind of a rough month dealing with migraines, so I only got to 4 of the books. I have these two left, The Defender and Entwined, and it's the 29th. So I might try to start one in the next day because I'm almost done with my current read, but I don't know. So I'm gonna say I got to 4 of them. But I'm still gonna pick 6 because I think I want the variety of 6 just to have a bunch to choose from. Okay, so our first one is, that's 2. First one is a book that you don't remember the blurb. Could be this one. Sounds like love. This one doesn't even have the blurb on it because it's a special edition. So that's an option. I don't exactly remember this one either. The Geo Magician. I don't really remember the second Death of Locke either, so I'll go with these 3. Can't really read you the blurb for this one because the special edition of Sounds Like Love doesn't really have one. It just says, in that moment, I realized that music could be everything. It was the feeling of existing, dancing, reveling in the pouring rain. It was magic. So that's all I've got for that one. The second Death of Locke. Love, loyalty, sacrifice. Gray Flynn has dedicated her life to her mage, Kier. She will be his blade on the battlefield, his healer and protector. The deep well of raw power inside her is Kier's to wield. They are bound together by blood and magic, but there is one truth Gray dare not reveal, not even to Kier. When a quest to protect the child of an enemy kingdom pulls them into a dangerous mission, Gray will need to decide what she's willing to sacrifice to protect her secret. For Gray is no ordinary magical will, and if she dies, all magic dies with her. So that sounds really good. And then the other one is the Geo Magician, which is about when a Victorian fossil hunter discovers a baby pterodactyl. She vows to protect him with the help of a fellow scholar, her former fiance, in this enchanting and transporting historical fantasy. Mary Anning wants to be a geomagician, a paleontologist who uses fossils to wield magic. But since the Geomagical Society of London refuses to admit women, she's stuck selling her discoveries to tourists instead. Then an ancient egg hatches in her hands, revealing a lovable baby pterodactyl that Mary names Ajax, and she knows this scientific find could make her career if she's strategic. But when Mary contacts the society about her discovery, they demand to take possession of Ajax. Their emissary is none other than Henry Stanton, a distinguished and infuriatingly handsome scholar, and the man who once broke Mary's heart. She knows she can't trust her fellow scholars who want to discredit her and claim Ajax for their own. But Henry insists he believes in the brilliant Mary and only wants to help her obtain the respect she deserves. Now Mary has a new mystery to solve that's buried deeper than any dinosaur skeleton. She must uncover the secrets behind the society and the truth about Henry. As her conscience begins to chafe against her ambition, Mary must decide how far she's willing to go to finally belong, and what her heart really wants. And it's book 1 of a duology. I think I'm leaning more towards this one. So we're gonna go with Geo Magician for a book that you don't remember the blurb. Okay, prompt number 2. Let's go with this one. One-word title. Do I have any? Entwine, we could pull up again. Circe. and Sky Shade. I think I'm gonna go with Cersei. It was just I didn't want to grab from the top shelf before because it's kind of tough because I have a couple books stacked on top. So this is the daring, dazzling, and highly anticipated follow-up to the New York Times bestseller, The Song of Achilles, that brilliantly reimagines the life of Cersei, a formidable sorceress of the Odyssey. And with the Odyssey movie coming out, this could be a good time for this. In the house of Helios, god of the sun, and mightiest of the Titans, a daughter is born. But Cersei is a strange child, not obviously powerful like her father, nor viciously alluring like her mother. Turning to the world of mortals for companionship, she discovers that she does possess power, the power of witchcraft, which can transform rivals into monsters and menace the gods themselves. Threatened, Zeus banishes her to a deserted island where she homes her occult craft, tames wild beasts, and crosses paths with many of the most famous figures in all of mythology, including the Minotaur, Daedalus and his doomed son Icarus, the murderous Medea, and of course wily Odysseus. There is danger too for a woman who stands alone, and Cersei unwittingly draws the wrath of both men and gods, ultimately finding herself pitted against one of the most terrifying and vengeful of the Olympians. To protect what she loves most, Cersei must summon all her strength and choose once and for all whether she belongs to the gods she is born from or the mortals she has come to love. So yeah, we're gonna go with Cersei. Okay, prompt number 3. We'll go with this one that's kind of unfolding and put that one back in. Oh, it's 2. Wow, I grabbed 3. We'll go with this one. Animal on the cover. Can you see that? So this has a bird. It's a once and future witches. Could be an option. Carl's Doomsday Scenario also has a cat. Those are 2 options. I know this one I have flipped around where there's not an animal on the cover, but the normal cover just that has the annoying Target sticker of Say You'll Remember Me has a dog. So that's an option. And A Court of Mist and Fury has a bird. Okay, so that's 4 options. I think I'm going to put this one back because I do want to get to it, but I have a lot of fantasy right now, so I want to make sure I get like a romance on the TBR. So I think I'm going to go with Say You'll Remember Me, which is the other side. They met, they fought, then they fell hard. There might be no such thing as a perfect guy, but Xavier Rush comes disastrously close. A gorgeous veterinarian giving Greek god vibes, all while cuddling a tiny kitten. Immediately, yes. That is until Xavier opens his mouth and proves that even sculpted gods can say the absolute wrong thing. Of course, there's nothing Samantha loves more than proving an asshole wrong. Unless, of course, he can admit he made a mistake. But after one incredible and seemingly endless date, possibly the best in living history, Samantha is forced to admit the truth. That her family is in crisis, any kind of relationship would be impossible. Samantha begs Xavier to forget her. To remember their night together as a perfect moment, as crushing as that might be. Only no amount of distance is nearly enough to forget that something between them. And the only thing better than one single perfect memory is to make a life and even a love worth remembering. So I think I'm going to go with Say You'll Remember Me. Because I do want to get to this before summer's over. Especially because I read the second book in the Interconnected series, The Night We Met, and I really liked that one. So I'm hoping I like this one too. Okay, so I think it's quiet enough now to continue, and I lost the prompt, so I'm going to pick another. This is prompt 4. This one is a book that scares me. Could be Northanger Abbey because it's a classic and that makes me nervous. One Dark Window, if I can grab it, makes me nervous because I tried starting it before and it was very confusing to me. And then the Raven Scholar, and this one's just because it's big, kind of intimidates me. So see which of these we feel like reading. Okay, with its irresistible heroine and playful literary games, Northanger Abbey is the most youthful and optimistic of Jane Austen's novels. It tells the stories of young, impressionable Catherine Morland, whose first experience of fashionable society introduces her to the thrills of Gothic romances, and to the sophisticated Tilneys, who invite her to their family home, Northanger Abbey, but they're influenced by novels of horror and intrigue. Catherine begins to think that terrible crimes are being committed, and her imagination threatens to run away with her. This one is also short, so it's 200 and something pages, so maybe this would be a good one. Be a little different. It does scare me though, because I love Pride and Prejudice. I do get intimidated by classics. Elspeth needs a monster. The monster might be her for One Dark Window. Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the airy, mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her. He keeps her secrets. But nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Thrust into a world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure Blunder of the dark magic infecting it. Except the highwayman just so happens to be the king's own nephew, captain of the most dangerous men in Blunder and guilty of high treason. Doesn't sound bad. Both of those two so far sound intriguing. And then the Raven Scholar, that does not have the back, so maybe it's on the inside. Yes, the Raven Scholar is a masterfully woven tale of imperial intrigue from an electrifying new voice in epic fantasy. Let us fly now to the Empire of Oran. After 24 years of peace, the reign of Berson the Brusque has come to an end. In the dizzying heat of midsummer, 7 exceptional warriors, thinkers, and strategists compete to replace him. When one of them is murdered, it falls to Nima Kra, the Emperor's brilliant, idiosyncratic high scholar, to find the killer and fight for the throne. Nima believes she is alone, but we are here to help. All she has to do is let us in. If she succeeds, we will win an empire. If she fails, death awaits her. But we won't let that happen. We are the Raven, and we are magnificent. This one does sound the most intriguing. Or definitely more intriguing than One Dark Window, which I think I want to wait more towards fall for. Small book or big book? Let's see what the first lines are like. There's a lot of intro to this. It's notes, chronology, further reading, novels of Jane Austen. Wow, already that much of the book before we get to the actual. Okay, volume 1 is here. Advertisement by the authors to Northern. Okay, it starts here. Good chunk in. Alrighty, so maybe this one wouldn't be so bad. No one had ever seen Catherine Morland in her infancy. Who would have supposed her to be a heroine? Maybe. And the Raven Scholar is, once they made sacrifices here to appease the 8. kind of feeling this one more. We're gonna go with Northanger Abbey. This will just go on top for now. Okay, that's 4. We have 2 more. Let's go with this one, which is Read a Fantasy. Okay, so I really want to get to A Court of Mist and Fury. And Summon to the Wilds. Those are both sequels. Am I starting? Yes, I'm starting a new series already. So I don't know if I want to add Raven Scholar. Oh, I really want to do the Games Gods play. Or you can just... No, let's stick to sequels for now. Or this one's Fantasy 10. I think this is a standalone. Okay, so we'll go for the 3. This will be the last one I pick. When Vivian's kindergartner Aria gets bitten by a werewolf, she is rapidly inducted into the hidden community of magical schools. Reeling from their sudden move, Vivian finds herself having to pick the right sacrificial dagger for Aria. Keep stocked up on chew toys and play PTA politics with sirens and chthonic nymphs and people who literally can set her hair on fire. As Vivian careens from hellhounds in the new school quarters to demons at the talent shows, she races to keep up with all the arcane secrets of her new society. Shops only accessible by the magic portal, the brutal trials to enter high school, and the eternal inferno that is the parents' WhatsApp group. And looming over everything is the prophecy of doom that sounds suspiciously like it's about Aria. Vivian might be facing the end of days just as soon as she can get her daughter dressed and out the door. This is a nice little short one, so that's an option. And then we have Summoned to the Wilds, the second book in the Villains and Virtues series, which I did really like the first one, which is about Damien and Amma, who they're on a quest. Well, Damien's on a quest to free his evil father from like a gemstone he's been cursed into, and then Amma's a thief he kind of accidentally picks up on the way, and she's stuck with him for plot reasons, and it's their misadventures, and this is book 2. So this is intriguing. So maybe this one. I also have A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the second book in ACOTAR, and I think maybe I'll go for this one since I want to get to the series before book 6 comes out. I want to try to get as much of it read as I can. I think we're going to go with The Court of Mist and Fury. It's 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's 5. Let me put these 2 back. Okay, and prompt number 6. If I can get it open. Prompt number 6 is new to me author. Okay, so Galaxy Hero would be sold Antonia Hodgson. But I already just put a big book, so I don't really want to do this one since it's off to the side. The Game Gods Play would be a nice new author. And that's something I want to get to. I know Our Perfect Storm is something I want to get to while it's summer. So this is an option too. Let me just think while it's a little noisy. So it's a little chunky, so maybe wait to fall. What's this? Let's just see what this one is about, 'cause I don't remember. We have a lot of fantasy on the list. I don't know if I want to go with this one. These are a lot of fantasy. I've read her. I haven't read her. And okay, I think it's quiet again now, so we'll go through what I grabbed. First was Ellen Hildebrand, Winter in Paradise. It's called Winter, but it's her books. It's in Paradise, so it kind of still gives summer vibes. Irene Steele shares her idyllic life with her 2 sons and a husband who loves her to skywriting sentimental extremes. But as she rings in the new year, one cold and snowy night, everything she thought she knew falls to pieces with a single shocking phone call. Her beloved husband, away on business, has been killed in a helicopter crash. Before Irene can even process the news, she must first confront the perplexing details of her husband's death on the distant Caribbean island of St. John. When Irene and her sons arrive at this faraway paradise, they make yet another shocking discovery. Her husband has been living a double life. As the Steeles slowly untangle his web of lies and deceit, they finally face the truth about their family and about their own futures. So that one sounds really interesting. I grabbed Weather Girl by Rachel and Solomon since I haven't read one by her. R.A. Abrams has always been fascinated by the weather, and she loves almost everything about her job as a TV meteorologist. Her boss, legendary Seattle weatherwoman Torrance Hale, is too distracted by her tempestuous relationship with her ex-husband, the station's news director, to give Ari the mentorship she wants. Ari, who runs on sunshine and optimism, is at her wit's end. The only person who seems to understand how she feels is sweet but reserved sports reporter Russell Barringer. In the aftermath of a disastrous holiday party, Ari and Russell decide to team up to solve their boss's relationship issues. Between secret gifts and double dates, they start nudging their bosses back together, but their well-meaning meddling backfires when the real chemistry builds between Ari and Russell. Working closely with Russell means allowing him to get to know parts of herself that Ari keeps hidden from everyone. Will he be able to embrace her dark clouds as well as her clear skies? So maybe. I grabbed by Melissa Albert, The Children, just because the cover looked interesting and I couldn't remember it. Guinevere Sharp has 2 childhoods. In one, she and her brother Ennis live in the wooded shadows of their family's isolated Vermont farmhouse, and the other the pages of their mother's world-famous Night City books, where their magical adventures have made them household names. In reality, Guinevere's childhood isn't the enchanted idyll her mother's readers imagine. She and Ennis are growing up near feral, unwashed, and underfed, escaping each day to the wild woods they've made their playland. As Edith Sharp's books explode into epic popularity, the threats of her rural childhood give way to the escalating perils of fame. Until the night it all goes up in flames, leaving Edith's series unfinished and her children the sole survivors. Now an adult coasting on her mother's name, Guinevere is mid-promotion for a ghost-written memoir when her estranged brother, an artist who has until now spurned his family's legacy, announces an upcoming installation titled simply Mother. As rumors swirl around a death connected to his last show, unsettling recollections from Guinevere's childhood begins to surface. Her public facade starts to crack, forcing her to confront the questions she spent the past 20 years running from: what really happened the night of the fire, and what dark history lies behind their mother's fantasy world. The Children win is wise to the mythic weight childhood memories gather over time, and the way our most beloved stories grow up with us. It's for anyone who's ever revisited an old favorite and found the pages cast in a darker light. Lines separating magic from reality, blurring as we discover the books once comforted us carry shadows of their own. I'm thinking this is more of fall vibe, so I'm gonna go with that one. Carly Fortune, Our Perfect Storm. One week in paradise to heal a broken heart. Frankie and George have been best friends since they were 8 years old, both passionate, impulsive, and headstrong. They've always clashed and come back together until now. It's the eve of Frankie's wedding weekend, and she doesn't know where they stand or even if George will show up as her best man. Then at the start of the festivities, in walks George for one glorious evening Surrounded by her loved ones, Frankie feels her life is finally perfect. But it all comes crashing down when her fiancé dumps her the next morning, leaving only a note as an explanation. Crushed and confused, Frankie returns to her family's home to wallow, but George has a different idea and a plan for healing Frankie's broken heart. He wants her to go on her honeymoon with him for 1 week to the lush rainforest and misty beaches of Tofino. Frankie agrees, seeing the trip for what it really is, one last chance to repair their friendship, even if it means unearthing Okay, so before the trash people came by, I think I was saying, crushed and confused, Frankie returns to her family's home to wallow, but George has a different idea and a plan for healing Frankie's broken heart. He wants her to go on her honeymoon with him for 1 week to the lush rainforest and misty beaches of Tofino. Frankie agrees, seeing the trip for what it really is, one last chance to repair their friendship, even if it means unearthing secrets and long-buried feelings neither knows how to handle, even if it means falling apart for good. So that's another one I'm leaning towards. And then the last one is The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. The gods love to play with us mere mortals, and every 100 years we let them. I have never been favored by the gods, far from it, thanks to Zeus. Living as a cursed office clerk for the Order of Thieves, I just keep my head down and hope the capricious beings who rule from Olympus won't notice me. Not an easy feat, given San Francisco and Zeus's patron city, but I make do. I survive until the night I tangle with a different god, the worst god, Hades. For the first time ever, the ruthless mercurial king of the underworld has entered the crucible, the deadly contest the gods hold to determine a new ruler to sit on the throne of Olympus. But instead of fighting their own battles, the gods name mortals to compete in their stead. So why in the underworld did Hades choose me, a sarcastic nobody with a curse on her shoulders, as his champion? And why does my heart trip every time he says I'm his? I don't know if I'm a pawn, bait, or something else entirely to this dangerously tempting god. How can I when he has more secrets than stars in the sky? Because Hades is playing with his own rules, and death will win at any cost. I think because I have... This does sound really good, but I think because I have Circe already on my list, I'm going to say no to this one. So that leaves Our Perfect Storm and Winter in Paradise. So I'm going to read the first sentence of each and see which one sounds more interesting. It's the first night of the new year. That's a little dull. I met George St. James the day my mom vanished. Yeah, we're gonna go with Our Perfect Storm. And then maybe if I have time in the month, I'll get to this one.